Just logging in. They're giving us some free characters. Shit.
A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step.
Let's get it. What is going on, gang? It's your boy, DBGTX-YT, and we're back with another, that is right, another Saint Seiya Shining Soldiers weekly breakdown with our weekly patches and updates, all the stuff that has been happening on the Saint Seiya channel side of things. Have been a little bit slow since the game has been pretty repetitive. The updates have been small, but leading up to all the events that they have throughout the weeks, you can save up enough Cosmo Crystals daily because they give you about 50 daily. Nonetheless, if you add it all up, that means that you can only do once. If you're free to play, you can do basically one. That is right. One multi-summon per month. By doing that, maybe two with all the other events and such things like that. Biggest issue that I have with the game currently right now is that the farming system is completely fucking horrible. Now I understand that they made it so that way you don't necessarily need to, let's say, get all these different characters when they come out. So they explained it. The bottom line is, your team can be built up based off effects and whatnot from different members and different things, and that can make up an amazing team. You don't have to necessarily have all Golden Saints in order for a good team, and in order for a good team to be, you see what I'm saying? Or you don't have to have all the Sea Dragons, things like that. Like, you can mix and match. So without further ado, let's go ahead and break down exactly what we got this week. Let's go ahead and look at the notices and such. First and foremost, we have a 7, that is right, a 7-step up summon. Obviously y'all already know what a step up banner is. So with the step up banner, it starts off with like 100 and 300 and 700 and then 1,000 Cosmo Crystals. Each one of them gives you consecutive, maybe like a single, then 2 consecutives, then like 5 consecutives, then like 10 consecutives for the 700, and then so on and so forth. Each one of them giving you a better chance at possibly pulling something good. Of course, this one over here, we have up to 7-step and 1 warrior. See what I'm saying? Like, one warrior guarantee if you get to step 7. On the average in this game, to get to step 7, you have to have about 3,500 Cosmo Crystals. Another thing that came out also is the Hagen Thor Select Banner. This is an update, that is right. It is another update to the Gods of Asgard's units. Let's check the details on the Warrior Step Up Guarantee. Look, what did I say? It was like 3,600 that I mentioned earlier. There it is. Boom, easy. Told you guys. Now they also released a new Hagen and a new Thor, the Green Hagen. Finally, they released fucking Hagen, but they did him dirty. How you know that one? Like, I want to know how y'all gonna do Hagen dirty. Why would y'all make him a green? First of all, he should have been a red. I called that from the very beginning, but y'all made him a green. So let's break it down and figure out exactly what we're getting out of here. The first thing is, like I mentioned before, if y'all haven't watched my Hagen video, I might have been off the mark, but I released my Hagen video back in week 2 of this game, and I was talking about the different moves that he was gonna have. Of course, I already knew that they were gonna go ahead and add I already knew the moves that they were gonna add. Like I mentioned, look, the Great Advent Pressure was added, the Universal Freezing was adding, and the Scorching Wall. Each one of these moves does a burn and freeze, just like I mentioned in my video of so far along back. I said each one of them are gonna have burn and freeze rates, but I was thinking that he was going to come with the very first white. That is right. I thought that he was going to be the very first white unit, or the very first new Infinity, but that didn't happen. So, in this case, he's the first character that has two different elements of attributes in the sense. So he has burn and freeze, which means that if status effect. So if he hits you, it can cause burn effect for 2-3 turns. The same way as freezing, if you get hit with one of his with the Great Advent Pressure, it can actually cause freezing, just like the freeze rings or the Aurora Execution, and so on and so forth. In the team effects, we get reduce all enemies' luck by 20%, which means that your critical goes down. That means that your evasive goes down. That means that your reward drops and everything else goes down. With this team status effect, what does that also entail? That also entails that when you're playing against certain characters that have high evasive, or in a lot of cases deal an insane amount of damage, critical damage, this helps reduce that. Yes, this helps reduce getting critical. This also helps reduce getting status ailments and all that good stuff. I mean, like, if you have a team that's set up with, let's say, after turn 3, every character gains, a higher attack power because you have, say, on the bench or something like that gives you higher critical, right? So this particular buff canceling mechanism, what it does is it removes four buffs. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 buffs. But that's after turn 6. You see what I'm saying? He also has a second passive ability. So actually 3. He also has 3 passive ability anyway, but they're all the same technically. So they're buff cancels, buff cancelers, buff cancelers. You see what I'm saying? They're all buff cancelers, but the difference is that one starts at turn 3, and what it does on that, it removes again 4 buffs from that. So then fast forward to turn 6, if your character's still alive and you're playing against the opponent, and the opponent still has setups and things like that, then by turn 6, your opponent has no buffs whatsoever. All their buffs will be canceled. So this unit is amazing if you're working towards stripping away the other characters, passive skills and team skills and things like that. We paint the picture for you. So let's say me and my data miner Grim, shout out to Grim, always doing this thing. Let's say me and Grim are having a match, right? And Grim has a stack deck that has, a little bit of everything. Buff ups, all that good stuff, defense up, spiritual attack up. He comes in there, he's using Moo, Godclaw Moo, and I anticipate that he's gonna use that, right? So I'll go ahead and I toss out, let's say, Doko, Blue Doko, right? So what ends up happening is, if I have this guy on my team, or if I have Hagen on my team, what ends up happening is that if I keep Hagen on the back side of things, right? What he does is, his passive is little by little starts cutting away at all the buffs that Grim went ahead and set up prior to getting into the match. So by turn 3, any buffs that you have by turn 3, the majority of them are gone. So you're not hitting me as hard. So when you look at people that be hitting, let's say, 225k because they have a deck that's set up to take a massive amount of damage based off, this and that. You use this, and if you manage to get to turn 3, you're gonna eliminate the majority of buffs from the character that's on the court. That is only for the main warrior. Read specifically that it says it's only for the main warrior. This helps you focus on beating a character that has the stronger affinity. That's what this passive helps you with. It helps you bring down the damage rate you know, weaker affinity units. So check the new select summons here with, of course, the green Fenrir, and then I believe the new, oh shit, I thought he was red for a second. I was like, oh, I thought he was yellow. I'm like, yo, they added a new color. Nah. But specifically, Fenrir Red, we just got that. If you logged into the game, you'll get them for free, like you saw when I logged in. This is the new Fenrir Green, which essentially what they're doing is they're starting to bring the same model in, but with different buffs, different colors, and different team effects, different passive effects, so that way you can start mixing and matching your favorite characters. That's really what it is, so you're not missing a beat on, you know, not having your favorite character in your unit, because there may be people who love Fenrir, you know, but now that we got Fenrir in blue and we got Fenrir in red, now we got them in green, we have 3 different types of Fenrirs that we could use, each one of them with different buffs. So if you can't fit one specifically to your build, you can also use that one later down the road. You see what I'm saying? So in this reference, we got the green Fenrir. Of course, his speed, attack, powers, and everything is still the same as the original blue one that you get a while back. What do we have here? We have the Wolf Cruelty Claw. We already know that that's a speed 9 attack. That is amazing. And then his second move, the Northern Wolf Pack Fist, has a speed 8 attack. Now, there's a cool thing about these moves is that all 3 of these moves, even if it is against the weaker affinity, take a shit ton of damage. Hands down, take a lot ton of damage. I noticed that Fenrir is one of the few units that have a high attack, the blue one at least. So he takes massive amount of damage. And I don't know if these will be the kind of the same way, but this is a supporter unit, so I'm highly doubting that this one is gonna have the same attack buff as the other one. But I could definitely tell you one thing: his team effect is godly. Remember what I told you guys the other day? Breathe, DB, breathe. You got this. I tell you guys, bro. I tell you guys, when they drop these units and these units have some amazing effects, bro, you could make some massive, and I mean massively OP units with these spirit attack, physical attack units, all that good stuff. Look at this team effect, for example, here. This team effect, this is fucking delicious. This is delicious team effects right here. Spirit attack up alley, 24% for 5 turns starting on turn 3. Now, if I'm correct, the Iolia from about a week ago or 2 weeks ago also had a buff effect that was very similar to this one. So, as you guys can see, shit is starting to stack up, and if you build out the right team, like I mentioned, you could definitely be extremely OP'd on the court. If you actually use them, god damn. Wow. If you actually use them, you get 24% buff besides another 24% buff for just being a team effect. So that is a total of 48% on the spirit attack. Let's look at the red one here. The red one, of course, all the moves are still the same. But if you look down at what they work with here, he's working at evasive down as a team effect. So this buff sucks. I really don't care for it. Then we have the charge skill speed down. So this buff, these passive buffs, if you're using him on a team to fight, these buffs help. Now, we also have Mime, and this is a new Mime because it's not the same one as the last one. But of course, they also release, you know, different colors, different variation and whatnot. But here, he also has spirit attack. Wow. And he's actually the better unit, believe it or not. At this point, this green Mime right here has 29% on spirit attack. %. Yo, this is where I'm summoning at. That's it. This is where I'm summoning at. This might be the one that replaces a few of my units for my spirit attack units. And then we also have, and he has a new pose here because it's not the same one, but he has a new pose here with the red one. But the red one, he has physical defense up. So that's a buff for your physical characters, the ones that, you know, on the online circuit, since I haven't really been playing, I haven't been noticing what is the meta still. But I'm assuming that as long as the character has a speed 9 attack, that is really what's going to be at the forefront of the battle. That's really what's going to be, you know, what's going to be used as far as fighting wise. But the variety of characters that they're giving us right now in regards to being able to mix and match, this is the type of patch I'm talking about. I mean, I haven't even gotten out. I have not gotten out of the summoning section yet. You see what I'm saying? Out of the notification section yet, and I'm like breaking down a whole bunch of stuff. Here we have rank mode. Yeah, so if you check the details here and see what's happening, as you can see, this is, you go ahead and you use these characters, right, in order for things to drop, like, you know, like inflicted damage, points, all that such. This is the new ranking event as far as, you know, the building the points. You know, you constantly beating the same character, and then when it gets too extreme, you know, you gotta remember that one, right? Make sure you go ahead and do it, because this is easy enough to make money off of. That easy money. Also, they gave us finally right here the Cosmo Chronicle events for Hagen. So I love it. I fucking love it. Now there's another ranking event here. I guess there's some celebration missions going on, and these are also events that are happening basically in this. Oh yeah, these are all events that are happening with this patch. So the 100-day celebration campaign, the story unlock celebration campaign, the celebration missions here. We're celebrating 100 days since the game's release, so there's a lot of things to earn some easy money, easy buffs, easy stuff. If you go over to the Cosmo Chronicles here, in the Cosmo Chronicles, there's some new stuff happening. The God Warrior invades here. They added some Gold Palace, some Gold Saint storyline, the Dark Lord storyline, and they moved the exchange shop over to the training area, which is really cool. That means that it just saves you from having to go through here and there and that. So when you're in the Cosmo Chronicles, you can just go directly to the exchange shop right there after you're done, you know, running your sets. And after you're done running your sets, you can just click in there and bam, do your thing. That sums everything up. So Cosmo's up. Online ranking also is not up right now, so we have an alternative week. That means that we have the Cosmo Chronicles, the ranking events, and yeah, I mean, that sums everything up. I know this video again is starting to become longer and longer in regards to everything that we have to talk about, but it's covering all the bases, is making sure that everything is covered in this review. And I honestly got to tell you guys that this right here, I'm happy to say, for the first time on the channel since the release of the game, I'm happy to say that this is actually a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. This is a solid 10 out of 10. This is the perfect patch. Perfect patch. Because you got a lot of missions to do to make some cash. You got a lot of things that you can work with, and other stuff that, you know, that you may need, like Zodiac, Awakening buffs, so on and so forth. They're giving us a whole bunch of stuff. Just know that this patch right here is it. Like I said, this patch is it. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and leave it at that. I want to just go ahead and announce one last thing. And that one last thing is in regards to maintenance. A lot of people question and ask at what time these maintenance happens. Now, under general circumstances, maintenance are always on Mondays. Mondays from, I believe, either 10:30 or 11 till 2 in the morning. Generally, the last hour and a half of the game, you're not going to be able to play. So if you're trying to leave things for last minute, I repeat, if you're trying to leave things for last minute, you're going to get fucked. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have a buffer time of at least 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, when it comes down to doing your missions. If you haven't been participating in any of your, Cosmo Chronicle things, updates and patches and tablet things or whatnot, you want to make sure that you do it before 9, 10 o'clock, because usually around those times is when they decide to go ahead and shut down the servers, and you're not going to be able to log into the game until 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's my final wrap up. That is the last tidbit of information that we got here. Just wanted to make sure that I went ahead and touch upon that. And with that being said, 10 out of 10 patch, baby. 10 out of 10 patch, baby. 10 out of 10. Y'all have yourself a good day.